I had no interest in watching Bluey. Bluey has existed for over half a decade now on television, and it had never appealed to me. It's not something I ever considered looking at, but I was encouraged to watch an episode, and I did. And of course, I watched the first episode, Magic Xylophone, which was originally released in 2018. I watched it on Disney Plus, and I have to say, I'm very impressed. The animation is stunning. And there are so many great things about this. And the whole episode is only about 7 minutes, but it packs a lot in, a lot of emotion, and a great display of parenting, and some really lovely lessons about the importance of sharing. This is written and directed by Brumm. And I will explain now what happens in the episode and share some thoughts, so there will be spoilers from now. It starts off with the father, whose name I believe is actually Bandit Heeler, but also just known as Dad, and he's playing with the children, Bingo and Bluey, and he's pretending they're musical instruments. It's absolutely delightful. And then we get an introduction to part of the narrative where Bingo says that she wants a turn at being one of the instruments because Bluey always gets the turn. And then they find a xylophone. They've got this box of toys or basket of toys, and Bingo finds the xylophone. And it just felt so realistic, the way Bingo proffered it in the air as if she hasn't seen it in years and years. And Bingo tells her to look for I can't remember what she called it. I don't think she called it a beater, but to look for the beater. And they find it and they strike the xylophone, and Dad freezes. And we learn that this xylophone, when you strike it, will make the person freeze, and you strike it again to make them unfreeze. And I can absolutely see families across the world. Bluey is pretty worldwide at this point. I can see so many families playing this game. Now, I say game, and I'll come back to that in a moment, but it is something that can easily be replicated. It can also turn the annoying xylophone into something that's actually great for parents as well. Because let's face it, xylophones, when played by young children, are horrendous. They're very noisy. But if you turn it into a game that the parents can be involved in, then that's something that the parents can get a lot of fun out of. They can make their children laugh with it. And we see Dad freezing, and Bluey and Bingo will reposition his hands and things. For example, they stuck his finger up his nose, and he has to pretend that he's completely unaware of this until they strike the xylophone again. And then he kind of snaps out of this freeze and realizes it and responds to it and chases them around. And the bit with the garden gnome I thought was adorable. And again, I can see this happening. I can see parents and children, or carers and children, doing this and having fun like this. And I think it's a fantastic idea, because I can't imagine many people would come up with this idea of their own accord, but in watching this episode, it can inspire so many people, so many parents or carers, to become hands-on with their children's play, rather than just giving them the xylophone and letting them make chaotic noise that is headache-inducing. Play with them, interact with them, turn it into a fun game and a silly game, because I think most children are going to, if you freeze, they're going to make you do ridiculous things. And this is what we see with Dad. So that's beautiful. Now, when I said this was a game, this is something that I was going to come back to. I think it's a game for the parents, but for children, they might actually believe it. There will be a time when a child reaches a certain age and they no longer believe it's magical, but I think there will be some children who genuinely believe that this is magic, and it's obviously up to the parents or the carers to reinforce that, to pretend to the best of their ability that actually, yes, this is magic. There will be times when they break character. I imagine it's pretty hard to remain frozen if your child is trying to manipulate your body in all kind of strange ways, but certainly it gives an extra element of childhood magic. And I think that is such a beautiful thing. And yes, there will be a time when children reach a certain age, and they might still enjoy the game. In fact, I imagine they probably would still enjoy the game. And I also imagine they enjoy the element of control, of being able to freeze and unfreeze their parents or siblings or friends at will, because it doesn't need to be just parents and children. It's something they can play with their own friends. In fact, I can see fully grown adults doing this. It might be a little bit more chaotic with fully grown adults, but it's something that I think would be quite a lot of fun if you have a xylophone to hand. I have no idea. In fact, I'm going to Google this. I I can't find anything. I was going to say it wouldn't surprise me if Bluey actually manufactured a Bluey branded xylophone to sell. And I can't actually find anything with a quick Google, but there might be something out there. But either way, even if a parent went out, bought a xylophone and came back and presented it to the child as a magical xylophone, what a wonderful thing to do. That is so beautiful. And this episode presents this concept so well. But then we have something that I think is equally as important, maybe more important, in fact. And it's the moment in the episode where Bluey is the garden gnome and she has been frozen. And Bingo takes the time to talk to Bluey, to tell Bluey while Bluey is frozen that she doesn't think it's fair that Bluey always takes all of the turns. Bingo is able to have this kind of heart-to-heart with Bluey, and she feels that she's got the confidence to say what she really feels to Bluey because Bluey is frozen and can't immediately respond, can't argue back. And I think that that is a fantastic, powerful tool. If a child thinks that they can talk to you without you being able to say anything in response, they are more likely to open up to you. And I think that that is incredible. And getting a little emotional. I'm very passionate about early years education and child psychology and foster care and things, and I'm always looking out for TV shows that can be really beneficial for children, partly because I grew up watching a lot of television, so I like to reassure myself that TV can actually be really, really educational and beneficial, and this is what we have here. So not only do we have this amazing idea that can connect parents and children more, can provide them with a game that I think would be fun for everybody. I absolutely wouldn't mind playing this. And in addition to that, it gives an opportunity for children to talk more openly if they think somebody can't respond back. A child, anybody in fact, might be scared to say how they're really feeling because they're scared of being shouted at or put down or criticized. Or they might just feel like they can't talk to somebody who is animated in front of them. Whereas if they talk to somebody who they know can't respond, can't move even, because of the magic of the xylophone, it can allow them that opportunity to really open up. And that's just something that is so powerful. And I'm getting emotional again. This is ridiculous. And Bluey, by presenting this opportunity, of course, Bingo is just telling Bluey she doesn't like the fact that she never gets to take turns. But on a more deep level, it could be an opportunity for a child to disclose something really significant, hopefully to somebody who can then help them. And I think that that's incredible. I have to say I am very impressed. I didn't expect to get so much out of this first episode. I don't know if I'm going to watch any more. I probably will. I will probably watch a couple more at the very least. I don't know how frequently, but I'm very impressed with Magical Xylophone. It's a brilliant episode. There's a lot to take away from the course of about 7 minutes. And then you throw in the absolutely beautiful animation quality as well. And I have to say, based purely on this first episode, I really understand the hype.